What's going on, everyone? Atheris with a new piece in the collection. This is ARH's Minotaur, or Minotaurus, or Minotaur, or however the hell you want to pronounce it. It's basically a beast man with a bull head. It's a Greek mythology piece, which ARH is really well known for. It's the majority of what they make are large-scale Greek mythology pieces, along with some Frazetta pieces, if you're a fan of his work. But they do really nice, large-scale, highly detailed, really realistic Greek mythology pieces. So this is my second ARH statue. The first one I had was the green Medusa, which I got years ago. It's been long since sold out. I never actually got around to doing a video review on it. Hopefully soon. But since I got this dude a few days ago, I thought I'd start with him. Overall, really cool piece. Very large, actually. The bases, for those of you that already have a lot of ARH pieces, or even have this piece in particular, know that you need a lot of shelf space dedicated for these pieces, because ARH dedicates a lot of space to the environments they use for their statues to kind of paint the picture of, you know, their whole, where they're from, what they are. This one, obviously, if you're not familiar with the background of the Minotaur, or Minotaurus, he's basically the bastard child of a queen screwing a bull because she liked the D. And basically she had a baby that was half bull, half human. So he's got the bull head and the hooves here at the bottom. And basically when her husband, or the king, found out, he kind of banished them to a maze below the castle, I think is how it went. And they would feed this dude people, or whoever had it coming to them, whoever they wanted to torture or imprison, or I don't know, whatever. But they'd feed them to this guy, and he'd eat them, men, women, kids, and that's how this guy came about. But back then, he wasn't known as the Minotaurus or Minotaur. He was actually known, or called, the Asterion, which, for those of you out there that know, I'm a pretty big Lambo nut. Lamborghini actually just recently unveiled their new hybrid car, and they named it after this guy. They named it after or they called it the Asterion, but it's named after the Minotaur here, obviously for the hybrid aspect. But there's a little bit of Greek mythology for you. Lambo always names their cars after something, after some kind of bull or some kind of really well-known story or character. So just thought that was a cool parallel. Thought I'd bring it up. But anyway, back to the statue. The paint application on the statue itself, extremely well done, actually, especially in the skin tone. Much nicer than I thought this was going to come. Looks very realistic, actually, compared to a lot of statues that I have with human skin tones. This is by far up there with one of the best, especially in the back. I love the striations here in the rib cage and down the spine. Looks very realistic, especially in the hands, the arms, the legs. I really like the transition from the head here to his shoulders, chest. I mean, it looks about probably how it would look if somebody had a real, I don't know, bull head. So it looks like tough leather hide. So it looks really well done. The only thing I kind of take issue with this piece, and it seems like something really simple that they could have addressed or done while they were painting this piece, considering the amount of time and attention to detail they put into the skin tone and the rest of the piece, was areas like the eye here, the mouth, and this open wound, which you would think would be glossy a little, right? Instead, you just got like some dabbed red paint here for his eyes, some really kind of lazy brown paint just kind of slopped in there, and nothing in his mouth area. Those of you that have actually been face-to-face with a cow, or been pretty close to a bull, know that their noses, their mouths are they're pretty wet. They're shiny. They're kind of foamy at the mouth as well. So I would have liked to have seen a little more gloss in there. It makes sense, you know, considering that's supposed to be an open wound and he's going to be bleeding. It's probably something I can, you know, fix myself with some clear nail polish or something like that. But again, for you look at the rest of the statue and you're like, come on, you didn't notice to put in a little bit of gloss in these areas. So overall, it's not a huge deal breaker issue for me, but just, you know, kind of makes you scratch your head, like, why didn't it come with it? It kind of seems obvious. But the rest is all very well done. The detail in, let me really get up a little closer here. The detail in the belt buckle and the shackles here, it looks like real metal in the shackles here. It looks really well done. I wish they would have kind of just made this a little similar with the rings over here, because this just looks like painted silver, whereas this looks like real beaten, weathered metal. Same with the ring in the nose. This is actually a really cool thing. I didn't know this was actually going to be movable. I thought it was just going to be a stationary glued down piece, but it actually moves. So that was a neat surprise when I took this apart, or took this out of the box. Here, let me show you too how this comes apart. It comes in about, I don't know, six pieces, I think. Let me just lock this down. It comes in about 6 pieces. So his hands and the club come apart. Take off this one first. You can see really well, focus, really well painted. Pretty strong magnets as well, which is a good thing, especially for that club over there, because these are solid pieces. The whole statue itself, as I said, almost feels like solid polystone. This is definitely solid, this piece here. It's all one piece, his hand with the club. Focus. So very nicely done. And then the other piece that comes apart, let me put this down here, is the torso. The torso and the head are all one piece, and again, fairly heavy. Let me take this out of here gently. But as you can see, it's held in pretty tightly. It's got a nice big thick pin in the bottom. No magnets or anything. I mean, just the weight of it is enough to keep it in place. Move this down. Focus. The legs and the waist area are all one piece. This all comes out as one piece. I'm not going to bother taking it out because it's really heavy, and there's a pin in the back leg here, in his left leg, that goes pretty deep into the base, and it's very tight. So I'm not going to bother taking that out, but trust me, it's all one piece and it comes apart that way. Let me put this back here, his hands. Okay. This column here on the right, this comes out as well. I'm not going to take it out because this was really hard to put in, actually. I had to push down really hard to get the pin in this column in the base. So, but I mean, you can position it, I guess, if you want. I don't know really if it's supposed to be facing this way or that way. Do whatever the hell you want with it. But that's separate as well. The one thing I'd like to make note of as well, now that I'm looking at the wall behind the statue, as a reminder, for those of you that have this statue or bought ARH pieces in the past will probably know what I'm talking about. And ARH, if you're watching this, I really wish in the future if you could use much better styrofoam to pack these with. When I unboxed this thing, holy shit, did it make a fucking mess. And you can see, like, the foam that they use is extremely cheap stuff. It's that foam that barely holds together, and as soon as you touch it, it starts breaking apart into little foam balls everywhere. And as you can see on the wall behind the statue, there's there's little foam balls stuck to everything due to static cling. I got it all over my floor. When I first unpacked this, the statue itself was literally covered in little foam balls. If some of you that are watching this saw the or seen the pictures that I posted online when I unboxed this, it took forever to clean, and they're hard to get off because, again, they're static cling, so you can try to blow them, but all that happens is they end up flying somewhere else and sticking to that. They stick to your head, to your face, to your clothes. So it's a huge, huge pain in the ass. I got foam balls all over the floor still. I even got foam balls still stuck in the statues in some places. And obviously, as you can see on the wall behind the statue. So it's a huge pain in the ass. I really wish in the future that you guys would upgrade your foam. Not just because of the headache that comes with unpacking it and the mess that it makes, but when I unpacked this, I was really shocked to see that there was hardly any protection with the pieces themselves against the foam. Like there was nothing really wrapping, like the torso itself, for instance, was wrapped in absolutely nothing when I took it out. It was just, I mean, there was, I shouldn't say that, sorry. One half of the torso was wrapped in paper, or that foamy paper, and then the other half of the arm was just bare paint up against the foam. So I was really worried, and the same with the legs and some other pieces. So I was really worried of paint rub or scratching when I pulled this out. It was really tough to get out too, because I think they just, I don't know, they take like a hot stick to the foam and they kind of cut out what they think is going to be the shape of the piece that they're putting in, because it felt really rough. Nothing was very accurate, you put it that way. Like it felt like, and it looked like they got a block of foam and they just ripped out chunks and then pushed in the pieces of the statue to hold it in place. It's really secure. It was really secure. It was hard to take out these pieces. It was so secure, and the pieces were in there so tight. But it just makes a fucking mess. And again, I wish there was a little more wrapping and packaging around the statue parts themselves. Other than that, it's a great piece. Surprisingly, this is actually still available. There's only 300 of these. The edition size for this was 300. I got a really low number. I think it was 35 or something like that. So if you're into Greek mythology pieces and you like the realism that ARH and quality that ARH puts into their stuff, you got to pick this thing up. This thing is just too cool. You know, and it's not that big. I mean, it's got a lot of base area you're going to need a big shelf to cover that. But it's not too tall. It's probably 18, 19 inches tall because he's hunched down due to his position and the way he's walking. But it's a great piece, really low edition. It's probably going to be sought after once, you know, people catch on to how cool this thing is and try to get their hands on it. By then it'll probably be sold out, but I think it started shipping not that long ago. So it's still available. Check out their site. I think a few e-tailers have this as well that you can get it from. And overall, it's a great piece. I think anybody that gets this will be happy with it. Just, you know, have a vacuum handy when you start unpacking it. And that's all. And it's a pretty for how big it is and how much statue you get. It's a bargain, actually. I think they're selling these for $350 or something like that. So great value, great statue, great quality. Pick it up, and that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully the next piece that gets here, I've been told the next week or two, should be XM's Magneto. I really cannot wait to get that piece. All the hype online and all the pictures that people are posting that just received theirs are making me super anxious to get mine. So tune in shortly. I should have my Magneto here, and I'll see you in that video. Take care.